of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is Terry. I'm not hearing any audio.
All right.
Terry, you
Now I hear it.
You hear me now?
Yes.
No?
That's great.
Okay, before we start, I'd just like to have a moment of silence. As everyone knows, today is 9/11, so we could just have a moment of silence. I would like to advise those present that notice of this regular meeting of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken has been provided to the public in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice of this regular monthly meeting of Thursday, September 11, 2025 was given by publication of the annual meeting notice of the authority with amendments as necessary and was sent to the Star Ledger on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. as notification to the general public of said meeting, and sent to the City Clerk of Hoboken on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, with a copy of the agenda to be posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, Hoboken Library, and Hoboken Police Department, and posted on the authority website on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. I direct the minutes of this meeting to state that I have announced that adequate notice of this meeting has been given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. Mark, you can begin. Roll call.
Thank you. David Edwards.
Present.
Anthony Forbes. Barbara Reyes.
Present.
Jean Rodriguez.
Here.
Jane Sanford. Erica Seitzman.
Present.
Carmen Vega.
Here. Director, you can give your report.
Thank you. Welcome back after a short 3-week gap since our last meeting, since we only have 3 weeks this time. We've been busy since our August 24th meeting. I'd like to start off by just telling everyone quickly about the legislative conference that I went to in DC this past week. We are going to have a very busy and challenging year or 2 or 3 coming up with what's going on in DC. As you know, many of you know, the FADA group, Public Housing Directors Association, specializes in dealing with issues of legislation on Capitol Hill. That's their bailiwick. Not training, they do some, but it's really dealing with those issues. And they really get us prepared for what's coming down the pike and get housing authorities prepared to where we should be positioning ourselves and what we should be worried about. And there's a lot of worries right now. As we know, the congressional legislative budget came back just destroying housing budgets, just destroying them. The Senate budget, as well as the administration budget. The Senate budget is better. They only cut us by 11%, only, right? But that's still quite a chunk with the kind of new regulations they're coming out with. Now, of course, the problem right now is no one up there can agree on anything. So they're not ready to pass a budget. They're arguing, and they can't even get in the same room together. So everyone thinks there will be a continuing resolution. Part of the question is, will it be for 3 months or will it be for a year? And what kind of deals are they going to have to make in order to get that? So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with fair housing regulations, the new Housing Choice Voucher Program, inspection programs. They haven't published rules yet on mixed families as far as families that are not citizens and who can be subsidized and who can't. That's coming, but we haven't seen that yet, but stay tuned. They just published some new, what they call Buy American, Build American guidelines that we're going to have to be going by. That will increase the cost of our contracts, by the way. But it is what it is, and we, overall support. You want to buy American, build American, great. But it does give us a lot more paperwork in the end. Delaying of procedures for this new program. We've talked to you about this thing called HHA, the Housing Opportunities through Modernization Act, and they're still delaying again because they're not ready with their computer networks. They're seriously talking, and I would expect this to happen, for possible work requirements for residents. Of course, they're, elderly across the board would be excused from that, but for able-bodied folks, they're talking about requirements, for work requirements that we may have to enforce, which again, my position is great idea, but again, you're just putting more work on a housing authority to enforce the social program. But anyway, that's where they are. One of the major issues, and I've learned quite a bit about it, and we'll be talking about it, I think, a lot at the next Finance Committee, is this new cash management process that they're introducing. They're introducing a new method by which housing authorities have to manage our income. And it's specifically, I think, from our viewpoint, designed to give us less funding and find a way that they can take back funding. So that's going to be quite a fight this year with HUD. We are on our national level going to try to delay it at least a year because there are some arguments about they can't do this without a congressional approval, but as we know, this administration doesn't always wait for congressional approval to do things, even if it's not lawful. The national outlook on housing choice voucher funding is fairly strong. They do expect some increases for the voucher programs, but again, decreases for the public housing programs. No one loves public housing, and we love public housing. It gives you your...
The word "no one" means no one.
Gives us your roofs, but the folks out there.
Is someone.
Can I?
So,
I'm sorry, Director.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You cannot be talking out in the audience out loud.
Thank
Okay,
you.
now? Thank you.
They continue to emphasize that we are not alone in our accounts receivable issues. This is a national issue that is still affecting housing authorities across the country with rent collections and larger balances. The FADA group is working with HUD on some type of maybe forgiveness program, but nothing's been able to come out the other side yet. And we had a great presentation on national budget issues. They brought an expert in the overall look on the national budget for the next 10 years. Doesn't look rosy, folks. Scary. And anybody that wants to delve deeper in any of those, feel free, give me a call. We'll talk about them in subcommittees, that type of thing. One of the highlights of my trip, obviously, was fly with a number of New Jersey executive directors, met with Senator Andy Kim. We got to go to his office. I've done this trip before to senators' offices, and I must say he was one of the most gracious and opening and welcome senators that I've been to. He welcomed us with open arms. He understood many of the housing issues that we're having. We impressed upon him that vital importance for New Jersey residents for funding for both public housing and Section 8 programs, that they just can't keep cutting us. Public housing is a vital part of our nation's investment, and if they keep cutting us, we're not going to be able to function. We did find him to be supportive and eager to learn more. I invited him to come to Hoboken. Hope he does. I think he's interested, and he's interested in getting more information from us. So we've already been talking about doing a little presentation for him that we will give him. What he has asked us to do is to give him stories, not only on our budget issues, but also personal stories, where we have helped folks, where we have made folks that may have been homeless, given them a place to live in public housing, where we have helped kids get an education, where we have helped kids do things, where we have had folks grow up that have reached our Hall of Fame status. He wants stories. So if you think of things, pass them along, because he's asking us for that, because he needs them to go and promote us. So that was a great trip. I think it was well worth it. I think it starts to put us in good stead for the future, more important than ever. We did all experience a water emergency this week, right? And as I wrote this yesterday, it was still boiled water. Now that boiled water has been lifted. So, but please let your faucets run a little bit. Let them clear out before you start using the water. So make sure everything's clean. On Hoboken Housing Forward, our redevelopment project, we've been very, very busy. Things are moving, and I gotta give some real kudos to Frank for pushing this along. I'm so glad we made that change with Frank to Director of Development because it's taking a lot of work right now and a lot of manpower on many of us, myself, Frank, and Emma particularly. We've made significant progress. We've had a number of meetings with our development partner, RPM, with city officials as we've been establishing that foundation. We're setting up the appropriate limited partnership. One of the first keys is a limited partnership officially between us and RPM, that we are 50-50 partners in this limited partnership. And with the wind at our back, we think before we see each other again next month, we will have an incorporated limited partnership between us and the developer. And that gives us a big step in moving us forward, because once that is finalized, we are then able, as a one entity, a developer, we are going to be a developer, right? Once that is done. And a 50-50 partner, which is amazing. To do our applications with the city, to be formally recognized as the developer. It gives us the standing to put in applications with HUD. It gives us the standing to start our financing processes and to start hiring architects to start going forward. So this is a big step, and we've spent a lot of time on this. I think we've done some good guidelines, and we're getting ready to get out of the box. We have made a strong partnership with the HUD office. Frank has been in touch with some of the major people there for a final go-ahead for our redevelopment once we're ready to go. A real positive development for those of you that remember our technical assistance people that left us. We've got a promise that we're getting it back. We're getting technical assistance back from HUD, which is going to save us a ton of money, because we're out there ready to hire some people. So they're going to now pay for that. So that's good stuff. And to have somebody with that type of experience at our side, we need that on our team one way or the other, and for HUD to pay for it is a thank you. We have been continuing to talk to the city about that second Harrison site. Nothing in stone yet. We're talking, is it possible that we could acquire that site, sometimes known as the old PSE&G site? I would like to ask Frank if I've missed anything very large, right?
No, that was a great summary. Thank you. I think one of the things that would be remiss is that it's the whole team that we have. It's, you know, we have Harold by our side. We have obviously the help that we got from HUD to get us to this point. So it was great to see that we could get them back, because truly a lot of the work that we laid as a foundation came from our conversations and our guidance with Enterprise over the last 3 years or so. So it was we were very grateful that HUD has reinstated that for us, and that's underway. But like you mentioned, equally important, the gentleman who reinstated the technical assistance for us, his name is John Ardovini, and he is the lead person at the RAD resource desk, which happens to be where all the development gets approved. So the fact that A, he knows who we are, B, he is proud of what we've done, and C, he wants to see this to the finish line, I think was one of the biggest takeaways from meeting him, and we're really appreciative for that. And at this point where we are right now is we're working very well with the city. The Part 58 and the environmental paperwork drafts have been submitted to HUD, and we're waiting to see comments. If no comments, then we're ready to send applications in. So those are some of the bigger hurdles. We are shoring up some of the contracts to be able to, as soon as we are a developer, to start selecting our architect, engineer, land use attorneys. So we've been doing some of the groundwork leading up to that. And then last but not least, our relationship with Housing for Hoboken, which is who will ultimately be the entity responsible for the Phase 1 redevelopment, Hoboken Forward 1, and getting their input and really appreciating having so many good eyes on the documents that we're putting forward. So when they are signed, I think we will all be very, very comfortable with what's on them. So thank you for everybody that's giving us support along the way.
Thank you, Frank. A lot of work behind the scenes here. A lot of folks are asking me, oh, you guys aren't doing anything. No, we're moving. Marcy. On project-based vouchers, we continue to work with the American Legion Group on the VASH voucher project and the Hoboken Community Coalition on finalizing their requirements to enter into a contract with the Housing Authority. I continue to meet with residents on a personal basis. Come on down, put in an intake request. I'll be glad to meet with you at my office or at your development. Housing for Hoboken was very busy this month, very busy. As you may see, there's a resolution on the agenda to do a modified management agreement between the Housing Authority and Housing for Hoboken. Under the leadership of Commissioner Edwards, we've been really working on that and kind of polishing it off and dotting the I's, crossing the T's. So I'm very pleased. We'll talk about that when we get there. But it's been a busy month for them. Thank you for your efforts there, all of you on that committee. We've got the Phase 2 renovations at Fox Hill under Housing for Hoboken, the installation of the cameras in the elevators. We do expect the CDBG grant anytime now. Once we get those final papers, we're off and running on that. And we've been talking to the city, and it's really close. We're signing those papers, and then we're a go on the cameras in the elevators at Fox Hill. We are working on our Phase 2 redevelopment on the replacement of storm doors throughout the building. We're almost done with the architect, and we do expect still to be bidding in October on that project, along with the mix of some concrete repairs on the outside of the building. We have found that we need some work there, and that's going to be a real priority as we go into this project. Both screen doors, outside concrete work. So we do have the management group before you. Special capital project, the defensible space is moving forward nicely, and just a small punch list items. I think all we have left, and again, this is the idea this is the fences that we've installed in Andrew Jackson Garden, kind of along the light rail, along the playground there. We're just waiting for the electrical connections to be put in to do the key card activated latches, but everything else is essentially complete on that project, and I look forward to that being done. I think we've already seen some positives through those fences. And then we've got this other project, this capital funding for Harrison Gardens, which you may by now think has been going on forever, because it has. It's been going on for about 2 years. But we're really almost done. The courtyard improvements, if you've gone by the courtyard, all the pavers are in, everything's looking good. Again, very similar, by the way, it's the same company, to wait for the latches for the key card access. It's virtually complete except the final punch list like that. The exterior door replacements at Harrison are complete. And in the past, if you remember, we did the hallways, we did the cameras in the hallways, that's all been completed. So we'll be able to, hopefully in the next couple of months, completely close out that project. And again, that was a special grant from HUD just for Harrison. So that's going to be done soon. We do have a request for bids out on the street for finally our new rodent-resistant trash collecting system. So we expect bids to be back on September 30th. So with any luck, we'll have that resolution to you in October. And again, that is us in the city, by the way, because the city has had to revamp their trash collection equipment in order to pick these up. These are a different way of picking up the trash cans. So the back will be facing the street, and their truck will come up, go in, take the trash cans out, dump them, put them back in. And they're very sturdy. So can't wait for those to go in and for y'all to see them. It'll be a good project. And they're at least rodent resistant. I don't know if anything in this world is rodent proof because of those sneaky devils, but they had real success with them in New York City, at the New York City Housing Authority, so it helps. New playground equipment has been ordered for the Harrison courtyard. So again, we are moving the Harrison playground inside of the courtyard. So if those of you that know those two little play areas in back of Harrison at the small parking lot that have consistently been an issue and a maintenance issue, we're getting rid of those. Those are leaving. And we're going to put a brand new beautiful playground inside the courtyard. Okay? And that again, the courtyard is going to be key card access, so that playground area will be reserved for our residents. So that's coming, that's on order. We expect installation no later than November. We may be able to start in mid-October. We're just waiting for the equipment. You got to pre-order that equipment. Once we get the equipment, we can throw that in. One thing I didn't put in our report is we're under design on the gates at the horseshoe. So we are going to take the horseshoe right there off of Harrison, our loop, and we're going to put access gates there. Right? So that's coming. That's under design. Now that's a big span, right? That's not like a parking lot. It's a big span. So we're having to do some real design work there. We may have to bump the curb out considerably, and we're looking at a sturdier lift, and we've got to run electrical out to that area, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's happening. Management staff has been consumed with our Nan McKay initiative, eviction issues, repayment agreements, HUD inspections. We've done extensive work with, I'd just like to take a moment because I think Yesenia will get there in a second or two, or a minute or two. But Yesenia's crew has done really well at pushing our non-payment and some behavioral issue evictions forward. And post-COVID, I know it's forever, but we've finally gotten through some courts. We've finally done some lockouts. The good news is we've finally done some lockouts. The bad news is we've finally done some lockouts. Sometimes it's difficult. It's difficult to lock a family out of their home. It's hard on some folks. And we've put some significant time into trying to help people, trying to find them funds, trying to find a way to keep them if at all possible. But at some point when you owe us a huge balance like that and you haven't paid us rent for a long time, it's something that's got to happen. So that, thanks to Yesenia, thanks to Matt and his group have been pushing this through, and we finally got some real positive results. And I think overall it's positive. Some people with emergencies we've been trying to work with, but understand that by the time you get to this point for a non-payment, you've been through 2 repayment agreements with the Housing Authority. So we've given you chance 1, repayment agreement, and chance 2 after you defaulted on that. And then you go to court and the judge gives you a repayment agreement that you sign with the judge. And you say, I promise I'm going to pay the Housing Authority an extra $100 a month. And then you don't. You know? And so that's what happens. Folks, you got to pay your rent first, right? I know you can say I'm biased, but you know, I was talking earlier that you can call us and we can find you food. We can find you a way to be clothes for your kids. But you got to pay your rent or you don't have a roof over your family's head, right? It's just so crucial. And eventually, it's just got to happen. And that's an answer, really, to our tenant accounts receivables. People just got to pay. You got to. and at 30% of your income, you should be able to. So anyway, we have developed a new trespass initiative that we're going to be rolling out soon. We're going to have a security committee to go over with the HPD. I don't want to bring it to the board until we've gone and reviewed it with the police department, but we're dusting off and we're going to be looking at our trespassing policy. We've already worked with them on some draft documents, and we've been working with the Fitzpatrick Law Firm on them as well. And then Ms. Villafane will present a little snapshot of where we are in occupancy and at Fox Hill and public housing. Is any of you on with us?
Yes. At the moment, we're at a 97% occupancy level. As Mr. Recco stated, we did have a couple of lockouts in the month of August, totaling in $185,000. Our next batch set to go to court hopefully this month is going to total in about $165,000. We talked to Matthew about what our next steps will be now that we've executed the lockouts, as far as like going to collections. We do urge anyone that does have a balance to come to the office and enter a repayment so that we don't have to go to court. We are still offering repayments. That's pretty much it for the court, for our TAR.
Sounds good. Somebody you want to, and unfortunately, I think I jumped over a little bit, but you want to talk about our Nan McKay initiative and recertification initiative?
I believe that we're set to go for October 1st with Nan McKay. We're in the middle of working out the procedure, how we're gonna work with them to get them the paperwork. We have to send out a letter to our residents advising them that Nan McKay will be performing the recertification and completing the recertifications now. And then that'll give our managers more time to focus on enforcing, on lease enforcement.
Thank you, Yesenia. And I just like to reiterate, residents, you're going to see a change in how we recertify your income. You'll be getting a letter from this group called Nan McKay, and it's going to talk to you about how they're going to collect your information, what you're going to have to submit to them. Of course, we'll be there to help along the way, but you're going to do this recertification process with a group that is a professional national group that does HUD recertifications. And they're very good. They come with very, very high standards. If you'll remember, we have had some audit findings over the past couple of years from our staff not keeping their files correctly. That is meant to solve this. I am determined to get those audit findings off of our map. So Nan McKay will be doing these recertifications. We will keep you apprised in a letter. We will be having resident meetings at every site regarding this, as well as we move in the procedure. I know it's a change, but I think you're going to like it in the end. You're going to have that point of contact. They're going to be able to problem solve with you, and you can be assured that all of your information is correct. So that's coming.
Can I add one thing to that, Director?
You may.
And we haven't been necessarily heavily involved in the weeds with Nan McKay setting this up, but I do want to assure residents the same requirements with respect to privacy, confidentiality of your information will apply to Nan McKay that apply to the Housing Authority. There still is a penalty under federal law, a criminal penalty for disclosure of your information. So if there's any concern about providing that information, Nan McKay will be held to the same standards that any employee of the Housing Authority is. And as the director mentioned, they are a national firm that does this regularly. So I just wanted to put that out there in case there was any concern in the back of anyone's mind in terms of confidentiality.
Thank you, Matt. That's absolutely true. On maintenance, regarding extermination, I just want to remind everyone, it's crucial that somebody come into your unit once a month and exterminate. It's good for you, but it's good for your neighbors as well. It's a community, if we don't all do it, there's a possibility of them surviving, so we want to keep after them. We have had an experimental process going on at 540 Marshall, which we think has been a success on a rat control special initiative in the basement boiler room areas. We've seen a significant decrease since we've done this. This is a specialty area, and what we're probably going to propose is us bidding this out for the next year on a separate contract. Yes, we have our extermination contract. They do what we need to do on bugs, on basic mice, things in your unit, but this international, I might say, explosion in rats, and it is international, has got to be battled with heavy armor. And there's some experts in this field, and they're doing this expert stuff, and they're really making a difference, we think, downstairs. So we're gonna increase that in the future. That coupled with our new trash collecting system, we hope it makes a difference. I mentioned earlier, I was in DC last week, this week, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. You know, and it's a big topic of conversation with housing authorities everywhere. Any specific cleaning or repair, please contact us. I attach our elevator report. We only had one elevator incident in the past month that was down for more than 1 day. Everything else was fixed in a day. I have an extermination report and a maintenance contract report. I've got to give kudos to Sammy and his staff. We had a dangerous failure at the 320 Jackson walkway ramp this month. And again, this doesn't happen to places that aren't 70 years old. This is the way we spend money on our maintenance upkeep. We had a very large piece of walkway that just went like this all of a sudden on the walkway at Jackson. And Sammy and his crew got in there. Within 48 hours, they had that back, and it was fixed, and I really appreciate that. That was a big job. I have arranged for a temporary roof repair at 655 6th Street. That'll stabilize that roof for the winter, but come spring, we're going to have to bid a new roof on that building. It's one of the only buildings we didn't do 6 years ago because it wasn't that old, but 6 years have passed. And we had a major leak there, so we fixed it. We're doing a temporary repair. We're not done yet. And then we'll be back for a bid next year. I want to remind everyone that we do also have, if you'll remember, that steam line issue that goes between the two buildings at Harrison. We have the boiler system in one building, and we have a steam line that runs under the courtyard. Perfect timing, right? We just got the courtyard done, and now we're going to have to dig it back up and replace that, a section of it, and replace that steam line under there. It'll get put back. It'll be very temporary, but that steam line has to be done, and we're looking in the next couple of weeks to start that. So this, as soon as we get the courtyard looking great, we're going to have it down for another week, but that's okay. Our boiler systems are ready for the winter. It's coming. So I got to hand it to Greg and Louis, our boiler crew. They've been working hard. I think we're pretty well under control. We are doing some final leaking boiler repairs now. We've got the CDBG grant that's going to take care of one of our bad boilers. As soon as we sign that, that comes with the same grant as the cameras at Fox Hill. But I'm being assured that we're ready to keep you warm this winter, because I'm sad. Summer's leaving us. That happened. It did, didn't it? Our consolidated operating budget to actual statement is attached. It's something that's been reviewed at the Finance Committee. In addition, Finance is working on our professional procurement committee budgets and professional services contracts, etc., housing choice voucher budgets, and for resident services. I'd like to see if Becky would like to bring us up to date on her report. Becky?
Good evening, all. So I set up a slideshow for you guys.
Welcome, Becky.
Angel?
It's on. It's on, Becky.
It's on, Becky.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't see. All right. So, first, we have the elderly disabled housing units.
Next slide.
Okay, just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I'm not seeing it on my end. Okay.
Are you moving?
So,
Next slide. Next slide.
Okay, Monroe Gardens. We
Got it.
have bingo. Okay, we have bingo on Tuesdays at 6. Pastoral care on Fridays at 7. The food pantry every other Friday from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And Monroe Gardens, Dr. Purisima, once a month. And pastoral care on Sundays at 9 a.m. Next page.
Got it.
That's okay. So we're on Adams Gardens. We have bingo on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Dr. Purisima every other month. Next page. Fox Hill Gardens. Bingos on Wednesdays at 7. Pastoral care Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. Dr. Purisima every other month. Movie nights on Fridays at 7. And band resisting classes on Fridays at 10 a.m. Next page is family housing unit, activities and events. For adults, we have women's self-defense class at the Annie Forbes Community Room on Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Got it.
And okay, and we have bingo at Annie Forbes Community Room on Fridays at 6. At Christopher Columbus Gardens Community Room, we have bingo on Fridays at 7. Next page.
Got it.
Okay, we have the kids' activities, 10 reasons at the 311 Community Room on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Homework help at the Annie Forbes Community Room, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 3:30. Karate program at the Annie Forbes Community
Can
Room
we
as well.
mute the phone?
Okay, and the karate program is on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Last, we have the guitar lessons at the Annie Forbes Community Room on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Next page, please.
Got it.
For upcoming events, next page. We have the Family Hood and Hoboken Housing Trunk or Treat. That's happening on October 25th at the Mama Johnson Field. We're gonna block off the street on 4th. We're gonna park some cars there, give out some candy. I'm really looking forward to this. Next page, please. We have Winter Wonderland coming up as well. The date is to be determined. I should have a date for you by the next board meeting. Next page. Past events. Okay, we have the Hopes Center Tabernacle Outreach Basketball Camp. I put up some pictures for you guys to see. Okay, so the next event was the Horseshoe Cookout. Just some more pictures for you to see. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome.
As I end my report, I just want to say how grateful I am to our nonprofits like Hopes that put on these events. It's not just bricks and mortar here, it's the spirit as well. And I just gotta say a special, the horseshoe guys, right? I mean, you know, these are guys that grew up at Andrew Jackson. They grew up in the housing authority, and they're now 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and they come back every year, and they feed the community. They just keep cooking, they do this, they organize it, they clean up, they do their thing, they're respectful, and I'm just so proud to say I'm associated with these men that grew up at the Hoboken Housing Authority. So I just wanted to throw that in there, and that completes my report.
Thank you, Director. Director, I just wanted to add, I know that we haven't really spoke about it, but, and I don't know how many of you guys know this, but Hopes does have a food pantry, a small food pantry at 532 Jackson. So if there are any residents that are in need of food, please feel free to reach out to the Housing Authority. They know how to reach out to us. If it's a senior, we have no problem having one of our drivers actually deliver it to a senior. So, and if you don't want to reach out directly to the Housing Authority, many of you guys know my number. If not, you can get it from Commissioner Vega or Commissioner Rodriguez, and I will be more than glad to help you guys with that. Okay, so it seems like there's no one for public speaking.
Oh, yes, there is.
Okay, did you sign in, love?
I didn't know what it's.
It's right there in front of you. Okay, so you can come up. You have 5 minutes. You have to be respectful.
I just need the person's name.
Absolutely, as soon as he comes up, because unfortunately they didn't sign up, so I don't have.
I don't remember if I did or not, or it was flipped over. Anyway,
Microphone, please.
name,
Spell it.
my name is John Adam Kurowski Jr., and I reside here at 220 Apple Street.
You might want to spell the last name.
Please, first name.
John.
John. Middle name A, capital A, Kujawski. Last name Kujawski. I commend you guys for what it is that you do. The late Assistant Attorney General of the state of Connecticut, Dr. Michael Lombardo, who taught law at Harvard, Yale, and Brown, said, John, the world is so quick to criticize, but are they ever quick to commend and say thank you for doing a great job? The way that I feel, before you address the negative, always address the positive. To say, thank you for what it is that you've done. And then when you mail your concerns with what it is they would like to be done, remember to respect you are not the only one. This Board of Control has a great responsibility, and respect that responsibility. And for me, myself, the journey of life I'm going through right now is exactly what we were talking about. To be displaced from your apartment, but it's given me time and solitude to write the journey of my life. A book called Where I Was, Where I'm At, and Where I'm Going. One of the most powerful books, number one, is the Bible. but another book is this, by Julia Cameron, called The Artist's Way. It does not only apply to an artist, it applies to every aspect of life. Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way, changed my life in a way beyond my own comprehension. Her teachings in the first chapter is, which I never realized, your morning pages. Have a notebook by your bedside and write. It's called free flow writing. Without my free flow writing, you know what I'm talking about.
You have 1 minute, sir. Thank you.
Do I have 1 minute for this?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing what's going on.
Excellency deserves recognition. And to each and every one of you, I commend you for what it is that you do in your life that not only makes my life
Thank you.
simpler.
Sorry, your time is up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
My time is up.
Yes, it is. Have a good night. I'm so happy. Okay, moving on. Resolution number 2025-0901, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to approve the meeting minutes for August 14, 2025, regular board meeting.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? Director, call the roll.
David Edwards? Yes. Anthony Forbes? Is he with us?
No, he's not.
No, I'm sorry. Barbara Reyes?
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez?
Yes.
James Sanford? Erica Seitzman?
Yes.
Carmen Vega?
Yes.
Resolution number,
I'm sorry.
I had a question or two about the executive director's report. Can I ask those now?
sure.
Thank you. That's okay. It's really, my questions relate to I guess it's tab number 1, the report you sent me again. And again, it's just to understand the numbers. If I understood what Yesenia said, Yesenia, please, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
That the 185,000 at the bottom of the first column are the money that's owed from the people that we've locked out.
Correct.
Okay, and then I thought you said the next round was 165,000 people.
No, 165,000 for the 14. That's the total for the 14 that are going to the next court date.
Okay, but what about the number in the middle, the 93,827?
Those are the 3 warrants that are still pending, the lockouts that are still pending.
But aren't they closer to being locked out than the 165,000?
Yes.
Okay, and then my last question, you didn't talk about Fox Hill. And I show 51,428 at Fox Hill that are in the same status. So are those 51,428, those are people who are about to go to court as well? Are they exactly,
Yes.
they're exactly the same as 165,000?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so there's really 220,000 that are pending going to court.
Yes, I'm sorry,
That's
yes.
it, it's fine, just, thank you.
Yep.
Yep, that was it.
Was that it?
Sure.
That was it?
Yep.
Okay. Resolution number 2025-0902, resolution authorizing the payment of monthly list of bills for the Hoboken Housing Authority.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns?
I did have one question. If you go to number 49 and 50 on the second page. It talks about flood insurance for all the amps. It talks about flood insurance for 400 and 401 Harrison. Do we have flood insurance for Fox Hill?
So the Fox Hill is not underneath the floodplain, so there is no supplemental flood insurance needed. The joint insurance fund will not pay for any damages sustained below $250,000. So that's why we're getting this private insurance.
Well, there's two issues there, right? One is Fox Hill doesn't need it, and two,
Yeah.
JIF doesn't cover flood insurance, and that's why we've got those two policies, if I understand what you just said.
So the joint insurance fund will cover, but any building that's sustaining damages below $250,000, the TIF will not cover.
All right. And is there, besides this flood insurance and the JIF insurance, is there any other insurance that we purchase?
No, not for the properties.
Is there any other policies we insure for anything other than those properties?
Our employees, such as health benefits,
Oh, right.
dental, vision.
Yeah, okay.
It's all listed here. All of them.
I was thinking more of directors and officers and some other types, of you said properties, so that's what I was asking. Okay,
The joint insurance fund covers that.
okay, thank you.
Resolution, okay, I'm sorry. No further questions or concerns? Director, could you call the vote?
David Edwards,
Yes,
Barbara Reyes.
Yes.
Gene Rodriguez.
Yes.
Erica Seitzman,
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0903, a resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken to amend the Fox Hill Gardens Management Agreement with Housing for Hoboken.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? If there are no questions and concerns, Director, could you please call the vote?
David Edwards,
yes,
Barbara Reyes.
Yes.
Gene Rodriguez.
Yes.
Erica Seitzman,
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0904, resolution by the Commissioners of the Hoboken Housing Authority amending an approved budget.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? If there's no further questions or concerns, Director, call the vote.
David Edwards.
yes,
Barbara Reyes.
Yes.
Gene Rodriguez.
Yes.
Erica Seitzman.
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Yes.
Resolution number 2025-0905, resolution adopting the annual and capital budget programs for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns? If there are no questions or concerns, can you please
I have
call?
one question. Do we have to sign something for DCA? Usually, Laura, we have to sign something.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Emma, do you know that immediately? I don't think that the officers have to sign for DCA, but
We signed something last year for the budget.
we'll check. We don't have it with us tonight, if we do, but we'll, believe me.
Yes,
it'll help us.
the commissioners do need to sign something. So I can get that form out and if we're able to get it coordinated, but it's not gonna hold up the adoption.
Will you be emailing that to us?
So the only issue with emailing it is it has to be on one
All
form.
right,
Oh, okay.
that's one where all the commissioners sign, right, Ella?
Yes.
Right.
I'm sorry, I blanked out on that. We'll, yeah,
Every committee meeting.
we'll get that through. Will the next board meeting be adequate? No?
Yes.
Okay. We'll bring it to the next board meeting.
Any further questions or concerns? No? Do you have one, David?
just give me a second. Go ahead.
Okay, can we please, call the vote?
David Edwards,
Yes.
Barbara Reyes,
Yes.
Jean Rodriguez,
Yes.
Erica Seitzman,
Yes.
Carmen Vega.
Yes.
That concludes our meeting. Yes, it does. Motion to close. Motion to adjourn. All in favor? Have a good night, everyone.
Almost made it before 8 o'clock. If you wouldn't have spoken